It appears that I'm getting view cucked like a motherfucker right now. Let me cut this on. Is that? Damn it, it's not plugged in. Hold up. Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. I'm getting view cucked, of course. So, that's always fun. That's always great. That's always lovely. But we make do. We make do. Country girls make do. Like that one fucking meme. If I can't find it. Make sure to drop a like too. So that the view cuckening is not as bad as it can be. Where's that meme? That meme, country girls make do? Just gotta make sure none of this is lewd. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this meme. This meme. Country girls make do. That's what we're gonna have to do today. We're gonna have to make do. Cause currently, some very big political shit is going on right now. And, other people are covering it, other people larger than me. So, a lot of the audience that I might have had is gonna be getting siphoned out, but that doesn't matter. How is everyone watching? I see we have 2 concurrent viewers, which is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It almost makes me not want to stream. I'll still do it though. I'll still do it. I'll keep it short though. I'll keep it short. It just sucks to get view cocked. 3 now. Hello, Pillow. Hello, Eleanor. I hope you're doing great. Yeah. But yeah, no, we have a lot to cover, and not a lot of people to cover it with, but you know what? That's the point of uploading segments. People can see the takes after they get covered. And that's what's important. That's what's important. My day's been well. Thank you very much for asking. I hope yours has, indeed. But yeah, so we most certainly have quite a lot to do. Quite a lot to do. And I'm personally really, looking forward to it. I'll probably start segments around 2:40, let at least some people file in. I doubt a lot of people are, but it doesn't hurt to try and wait and see and test if people will. Then by that point, I think we will have enough people to be able to properly determine whether or not we can actually get things done today, So yeah. Yeah, indeed. So, we have quite a lot of fun stuff to cover today. We will be doing, of course, a segment on Trump's arrest. Then we will also be doing one on leftist ableism. And then our other one is going to be AOC's alleged burner account. So we have some pretty funny and fun stuff coming up in today's stream. And hopefully we'll be able to, get it done quickly. And, I don't know, maybe shoot the shit for a little bit, see if views increase. And if not, if it remains a little high and dry today, then I might just end early and stream tomorrow. But yeah. So, yeah. Oh yeah, my Instacart card came in, so I can start doing that for some extra money. I don't know if this has like personally identifying information on it. Let me see. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. But yeah, pretty soon. Honestly, I might start tomorrow. Tomorrow or Friday. But I will be able to, I guess, get people's groceries for money, which is going to be beneficial to me, especially since the hours have dried up and I currently make no money off of YouTube because I have not qualified for it yet. However, if y'all want to help me qualify, be sure to share the videos whenever they come out and share the streams too. I just need to get my watch hours up now. I am less than 1,000 watch hours away from, oh god, this lighting is making my teeth look horrible. I am, no, that doesn't fix it. Okay. I am less than like 1,000 watch hours away from being able to qualify for monetization, which shouldn't take me all that long. The thing is, most of my watch hours come from streaming. That's where I get a vast majority of, is Trump in jail? No, he's just been arraigned, but he's still technically kind of been arrested. But, yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, I'm really... you need 1,000 subscribers. You need 4,000 watch hours. I have, I think, around 3,100 watch hours. So, again, like, less than 1,000. I'm really close to being able to qualify for monetization. And then the moment we do that, then we can really hit the ground running. And then upcoming during the summer, I'm going to be able to take YouTube a lot more seriously. And even past that, like, once I get to college, I'm going to be quitting my current job. 10 million shorts views. I'm not getting 10 million shorts views. I uploaded, like, one YouTube short, and I was like, okay, that was a fun little experiment. It got, like, decent views, but I'm not putting a lot of time into making YouTube shorts. Like, I need to actually get into streaming a lot more to do that, and I also need a lot more time. So maybe in a couple of months, when I get off to college and I quit my current job and I can like actually focus on YouTube a bit more, because I'm not going to be like as held up with anything else. But up until that point, I don't think I can really mess around with YouTube shorts. Yeah. I would be interested in doing short form content though. Just like keep in mind, all of this that I do is this is all a solo endeavor. Yeah. But yeah. Shit. Drop something. Yeah. So, which segment do y'all want to see first? So we can talk about AOC's burner account, we can talk about leftist ableism, and we can also talk about Trump getting arrested, which I'm assuming is going to be the most popular choice. I'm going to go ahead and assume that's what everyone wants, but I want to do what everyone wants first. So we could have someone who wants to like wait to do that at the end. Why is there... What? Why is there a Doge on my Twitter? It's... What's going on? What's going on? My little Twitter icon is a Doge. What the fuck is up with that? Does no motherfucker really break the retweet attribution functionality? 2 days. Oh my god. Wait, really? Twitter's website logo was changed to Doge? What? That's stupid. Because I'm, like, y'all can see it right here. I'm on Twitter right now. Hold up. Interesting. What if I... refresh. Which I know, that's really stupid. It's not even like in a proper position. It still has like pixels on top of it. That's really dumb. Okay, so 10 concurrents, yay! That's not bad. Okay, so segments. We're gonna get into the segments right now, so I can, I don't know, like maybe do something else after this. I don't know. But yeah. So just give me a second. I'm gonna check some stuff. Check some Twitter stuff. I never really used the Twitter communities thing, so I'm just looking through that. It's pretty boring. That's cute. Splatoon shit, that's cute. Alright. Alright, so sorry for the little downtime right there. I just need to find a good thing to start ourselves with. Okay. And let me also check this.
We see several of the SUVs here, Anderson, pulling.
Okay, so y'all can't hear that. Okay, segment time! Hey, howdy, and hello everyone, you beautiful people. I'm coming at you at just the best time, the most beautiful time in American history, because currently, Bozo, the previous president, El Bozo, has been arrested for paying off, wait, dang. I don't know if I cussed in that time. Let me try again. I wasn't making like a concerted effort not to, so I might have. Hey, howdy, and hello everyone. A pillow here coming at you during one of the most interesting times in American history. We are looking at the arrest and the arraignment of a former president of the United States for some spicy campaign finance violations. And I'm saying spicy because we have not passed. We just passed the 30-second mark. This man, Donald Trump, Best Boy, like an idiot, paid off a porn star, allegedly. And he is currently being charged under campaign finance, illegalities, campaign finance law, because this paying off and then paying the lawyer who had paid her off was basically used as a way to help his campaign, because she was basically Stormy Daniels, the porn star he paid off. We'll get to the video. But the porn star he paid off was going to come out with a story that could have ruined his chances in 2016. I doubt it would have, but it could have. And so his lawyer paid her off, and then he paid the lawyer for paying her off. And he's now being charged in New York under campaign finance violations. And here we have... Actually, I'm not going to do CNN. Because CNN might copyright the shit. I will be doing the AP. Oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, look at this shit! Happening now. Former President Donald Trump is in Manhattan courtroom for his arraignment on criminal charges. Whoa! Look, I'm gonna get into what this says about the United States and what this means for us as a country. But let me tell you, I have never been more satisfied looking at a picture. This is a former president of the United States sitting in a courtroom being arraigned on criminal charges. That is great. That is phenomenal. And I am shocked that it took this long for it to happen. Oh shit, we have a video! Wait, dude. Ah! Bozo. L, look at him. Wow. Do we have audio?
President Trump, will you come speak to us? President Trump? Will you come?
The face. Look at him. Ooh. I'm sorry for blowing out the mic, but look. Words cannot describe the amount of joy that seeing this image puts in me. Okay? So, we've laughed at him. We've talked about this event happening. Let's talk about what this means. I'm going to be using the term allegedly this entire time, because I'm not trying to get sued. I doubt I would get sued, but I'm not trying to get sued. So let's talk about this flat. One of the things that a lot of authoritarians rely on, and do not get me wrong, Trump, in my opinion, is an authoritarian. He is an authoritarian, in my opinion. And one of the things that authoritarians rely on is the idea that they are above the law, that they are untouchable. And this generally goes with fascism too. I believe I made a video a couple of weeks ago where I talked openly about, hey, punching fascists, punching Nazis is something that you can use to demystify them, to disempower them, because fascists rely on looking strong and powerful in order to gain a base. They rely on this kind of imagery to make themselves seem better than they actually are. And, like, the all-powerful deserve to rule people. And let me tell you, I don't think anything is more demystifying than someone who was formerly the most powerful man on the planet. The most powerful man on the planet sitting in a district court on charges relating to him allegedly paying off his lawyer who who paid off a porn star who he had an extramarital affair with. Nothing is more powerful than that. This is showing that powerful people can be held accountable for the things that they do. And is he getting special treatment? Yes, he's getting special treatment. You know where he went, or at least where he's planning on going after this arraignment? He's planning on going back to his golf resort in Florida. He is getting special treatment, undoubtedly. But you know what else is happening? You know what else is happening? He is also being held accountable for the crimes that he allegedly committed. He has sat in a courtroom, had criminal charges brought up against him. I don't know if they took a mugshot of him. I think there are talks that they weren't going to take a mugshot of him because, of course, the purpose of a mugshot is to make it easy to identify a criminal, say if like they escape or something like that, or just like to have them on the books. And like, I don't think anyone is more identifiable than like a former or current president. Like, I would argue that Trump is, out of like the most identifiable people in the world, he is definitely in like top 3. I think the only person alive who's probably more recognizable than Trump is like Obama. I don't even think Biden is more recognizable than Trump because he just kind of sits back and does his presidential thing silently, whereas Trump didn't. But what this means for America. What this means for America is that our leaders are not above the law. Flat out. And making it clear that people can be held accountable for the things that they do, especially people in these positions of power, make it a lot scarier for people trying to exploit our political systems, as many Republican politicians currently are. It's going to make a lot of these people potentially get cold feet. Because getting hit on charges like this, yeah. A lot of right-wingers are pointing to this as like a political act, like a political game and indictment. And like, everything you do is political. But the thing is, if he committed this crime, he's getting charged on what he did. He's not above the law. And that scares people like Tucker Carlson. That scares people like Ron DeSantis. That scares big Republican conservative talking heads and lawmakers and politicians and figures and propagandists. That scares them because it shows them what might happen to them if their little ploy to subvert American democracy does not work. That if they do get caught committing a crime, and if they somehow do come to power and they do whatever they want, all the horrific shit that they want to do, and their regime collapses, which it most certainly will, because fascism never lasts. Fascism never lasts. It will always eventually fall apart. Even the longest running fascistic regimes eventually fell apart. Even if they were to take control of the country and subvert our democracy, once their regime falls apart, this is going to be them. This is going to be them sitting in a courtroom, being charged for crimes that they have committed. Whether it be paying off a porn star, which if in the grand scheme of things, I don't care. He diddled a porn star and like paid her off to stay silent. I don't care. You know what he does with his dick, I don't give a fuck. Yeah? And this is funny to me because I hate this guy. Like, this is an ontologically evil kind of thing, unironically. Anything that happens to this man, I don't care, as long as it isn't something like especially heinous. But yeah, this scares these people. Because anything that they do they could very easily end up in a courtroom like this man who was once the most powerful man on the planet. The most powerful man on the planet. And while I do personally doubt that anything is going to be made of this, or that this is going to potentially hurt his electoral chances, because at this point, if Trump runs in 2024 and he wins the Republican nomination, I am 100% certain he's not winning the general election. He lost in 2020, and that was before he did the thing that a lot of people consider to be the worst thing that he did, which was January 6th. A lot of people consider January 6th to be the worst thing that he did, and that was after he lost an election. Trump is unelectable when it comes to the general American public. Regular people are not going to go out and vote for him. And I do not think that this is going to hurt his electoral chances any more than they would. Especially since a lot of the Republican base are now throwing themselves behind him. Because of this conviction. What happens moving forward is entirely up to us. And whatever you say, this is the sign of a functioning and healthy democracy. Sometimes I look at other countries, like South Korea, for example. South Korea is a country that had a very, very, very long share of horrible, horrible military dictators propagated by the United States. But in recent years, South Korea has become a very democratic country. And I think part of the thing that helps with that is that they are not afraid to prosecute their former presidents. Let me pull her up. Of course, in recent memory, we have the former president of South Korea, Ms. Park. As you can see here, her being arrested. She was arrested on corruption charges. And before her, there was another president whose name I'm forgetting, who was also arrested, I believe, also on corruption charges. That's a good thing. It is a sign of a functioning and a healthy democracy that a former leader, when they commit a crime, can be arrested for that crime, be charged for that crime. That is a good thing. And this makes me optimistic for what may be going forward in America. Because it has been extremely scary to be an American recently. Especially one in minority groups, such as myself, obviously. But knowing that our democracy, even when fragile, can still endure to the point where people are not above the law, or at least will still be prosecuted even if they are given special treatment due to the specialty of who they were. The fact that these people can still be prosecuted, the fact that these people can still be arraigned, the fact that pictures like this can come out of America is a good thing. This sounds really hopeful, and that's because it is. Be hopeful. Be hope-pilled. This is a good thing that this is happening. Even if you aren't like some hardcore leftist going like, yeah, screw Trump, haha, yeah, like I am. This is good. I think one of the worst things to ever happen in American history was the fact that Nixon was not prosecuted after Watergate. He should have been prosecuted after Watergate, flat out. Flat out. He should have went to jail. But he didn't go. He didn't go. He was never arrested. He was never prosecuted because he got pardoned by Gerald Ford. That isn't good. But this is good. This is a move in the right direction for our country and for democracy in this country if we want to keep propagating it. Because for a democracy to function properly, no one can be above the law, and everyone must be equal. Flat out. With that being said, if you liked this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. I tend to stream whenever, but I try to keep it relegated to Fridays and Saturdays. I may be testing some uploading everyday thing, but if not, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And make sure to join the Discord, links in the description. Also follow me on Twitter, links in the description. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. What's Watergate? Basically, Nixon got... In the 70s, Nixon, who was a Republican president, he got, like, a bunch of fucking people. He paid off a bunch of people to break into the headquarters of the Democratic Party and steal a bunch of shit. Like, basically burglarize it and, like, wiretap the place. It was caught. And at first, he had, like, denied it. He gave a very famous speech at Disney World, of all fucking places, where he said, like, I'm not a crook. And it was eventually revealed that, yeah, he did know about it, because Nixon had this habit of, like, recording everything that went on in meetings and shit. And those recordings were discovered because he was a fucking idiot. And he was most certainly about to be impeached, so he just, like, pieced out of there, and his vice president, Gerald Ford, became president, because that's how that works, and then Gerald Ford pardoned him. Watergate was insane. Nixon and Ford should have been arrested for Watergate. Like, I'm sorry, like, Watergate should have ended with us a couple of tiers down the presidential line of succession. Like, flat out. Watergate was... If I'm being honest, Watergate was, like, kind of the beginning of, like, the shit show that is modern American politics. Because the fact that, like, a U.S. president could just orchestrate breaking, like, political espionage to that level, which, like, U.S. presidents have always done political espionage and will always do political espionage. But the fact that it could be revealed and the president just gets away with it is terrifying and not a good thing. But yeah. Listen, it makes me excessively happy, though, to see just all of these images of Trump being arraigned in DC. That's great to me. Did they lead him in cuffs? I don't think they let him in cuffs. Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't. How long do you plan to stream? I have 2 more segments to do, and then I might toss in some extra segments. I'm trying to start a more consistent upload schedule. While you were explaining it, I was disrupted from stream. The Democratic Party. Because Nixon was a Republican. This was, I believe, it happened during an election year, so Nixon paid off a bunch of people to, like, break into the Democratic National Convention's headquarters and steal some documents and wiretap the place. They can cuff him because they kept... True! And Nixon got away with it. I'm Richard Nixon. I'm not a crook. My fellow Americans, I drove a stupid bubble limo. Nixon's limo was, like, really stupid, though. He was a wacky dude. Can I? Because keep in mind, Nixon came like... Wait, no, who had the bubble limo? Was it Johnson? Did Johnson have the bubble limo? Okay. Lyndon Johnson instead of just Johnson. With the bubble limo. What? President bubble limo. I know one of the presidents had like a bubble limo. It was like a limo and like the back was like a little glass bubble. It was one of them. 1950? Whose limo was that? Bubble top presidential limo? Yeah. Yeah, whose limo was that? That was Eisenhower's limo? I thought that came after Kennedy. Okay, basically, apparently Eisenhower, I thought it came after Kennedy, but Eisenhower's presidential limo had like a glass bubble that people could see him through. I'm assuming it was bulletproof, because, yeah. And the fact that it was Eisenhower's limo, aka it came before Kennedy, just makes it like sad and funny. Especially, like, Kennedy came right after Eisenhower, too. It was Eisenhower. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, Kennedy was president after Eisenhower. I'm sure. Who was president after Eisenhower? Because if I'm remembering in proper order, going back... Yeah, it was Kennedy. Because going back in proper order, it's Biden, Trump, Obama, George W. Bush. Wait, no. Which Bush? Yeah, it was George W. Bush. And then Clinton, George H.W. Bush, Reagan, Carter, Ford, Nixon, Johnson, Kennedy, Eisenhower, Truman, FDR, Hoover, Coolidge, Wilson, Taft, and then it was Teddy, McKinley, and then I forget who comes before McKinley. Was that right? Let me check. Let me check the list. This is what Uber autism does to you. You remember the order of presidents. Okay. So I said, yeah, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush, W. Bush. So I did get that Bush right. Clinton, H.W. Bush, Reagan, Carter, Ford, Nixon, Johnson, Kennedy, Eisenhower, Truman, FDR, and then this is where I got confused. So was it Hoover? It was Hoover, and it was Coolidge, and then Wilson. No, Harding! Fuck! Who the fuck gives a fuck about Harding? He's boring! Fuck Harding. Damn! Then BJ? Who's BJ? McKinley? No, it was Cleveland. Then Harrison. Van Cleveland, because he did it twice. Adlai Stevenson the First? What the fuck? That was his vice president? Adlai Stevenson the First. Arthur, Garfield. Garfield's fucking death was horrible, dude. I feel so bad for the guy. Like, when people say... Oh, wait, yeah, no. And then I know it from Hayes. So, it was Hayes, Grant, Johnson, the Dick Johnson. Lincoln, then it was Buchanan. Wait, who the fuck comes before Buchanan? Pierce! Fuck Pierce. Fillmore, Taylor, Polk, Tyler, William Henry Harrison, gotta love. Oh shit! It's the anniversary of William Henry Harrison's death. Rip Bozo. What a fucking idiot. Van Buren, Jackson, Adams, Monroe, Madison, Jefferson, Adams, and Washington, yeah. Granddad of the one that ran against Eisenhower, yeah. Who's McKinley? McKinley was president before Theodore Roosevelt. He's notable for getting his back blown out by a fucking anarchist named Leon Czolgosz. Leon Czolgosz. Yeah. Now look at this guy. He fucking blew McKinley's back out in New York. Yeah. It used to be like shockingly easy to assassinate world leaders. Like it was like shockingly easy to assassinate world leaders. Because like of the presidents that have died, I can probably point them out because there have been a couple. William Henry Harrison, first dude to die in office. I'm pretty sure people attribute it to pneumonia. And Polk died after he left office. Taylor? Yeah, Taylor died in office. I forgot. Oh, people think that he was poisoned, but it was more than likely just like cholera because DC's water was shit. Then who else died in office? Lincoln got fucking... Grant died of lung cancer, but that was after his presidency. Garfield got... Garfield! Oh, dude. He got shot, and there's actually a really funny podcast episode on it from Lines Led by Donkeys. They're one of my favorite podcasts. But Garfield got shot, and his doctor was incompetent. He didn't wash his hands. Garfield could have survived, but the guy kept, fingering Garfield's wound trying to take the bullet out and just created multiple fucking wound pathways and trying to find the bullet. Garfield stayed alive for 3 months after, but he had bad sepsis, horrible fucking fevers. I feel really bad for because Garfield didn't even want to be president. He just kinda got forced into that position because fucking Republicans couldn't decide. This was when Republicans were cool. But the Republican Party couldn't fucking decide on who to make their nominee. So everyone just started joke voting for Garfield, and Garfield was like, "No, dude, don't do me. Vote for Sherman. That's who I want. Vote for Sherman." And then he became president, and then he was just kind of like, "Ah, shit. Okay, guess we kind of have to do this." And then he was actually cool as a president, and then he got shot, unfortunately. So I feel bad for him. So then Arthur, and then we get Cleveland, who lost the presidency, and then Benjamin Harrison became president, which was cool, I guess. And then Cleveland again. And then McKinley, who got his back blown out. Teddy, best boy. Taft, big boy. Wilson, fuck them. Fuck Wilson. Harding, he was someone, I'm pretty sure... Oh, he died in office. Okay, so that's why no one remembers. Oh yeah, he died from a heart attack. I forgot Harding. And then you get Coolidge, who no one really kind of gave a shit about. Hoover, Franklin D. I'm pretty sure he died from complications related to polio, I think. Truman, who didn't die in office. He stayed alive for a long time. Eisenhower. Kennedy, who's the last and most recent president to die in office. He got clunked. But yeah, so that's presidential deaths. But yeah, no, dude. Grover Cleveland is I feel so bad for him. He did not deserve to go in the way that he went. Because again, he would have survived if his doctor just wasn't fucking incompetent. If his doctor just knew what the fuck to do, then Cleveland, would have survived. Who do you think is the best candidate that lost a general election? Fucking Eugene Debs. Eugene Debs, our best fucking boy. Socialist. He was a socialist. He ran for president in prison. And of course, like, critical support for Eugene Debs. He won like a million votes out of it, but of course he never won the presidency. But yeah. So, love Eugene Debs. He's a cool dude. Okay. Next segment. I'm pretty sure I can actually do, polls. So, instead of just asking y'all, I can actually do polls. And boom! We got a poll out there. So, what do y'all want me to cover? Vote, 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 vote. Pokemon, go to the polls. We got 2 votes. 2 votes for RightWingCope and leftist ableism. I thought y'all might want the AOC burner account. But y'all do have to vote. Y'all do have to vote. But until y'all vote, I'm going to check Twitter on my phone. But yeah. So. But yeah. I feel really bad for Garfield as a president. Okay. We have 3 votes in 1 minute. I'll let it go for like another minute. The cup has been so good. Do you think we're children? The burner account story is probably what everyone wants, but this is so cringe. Yeah. Honestly, I do want to cover RightWingCope more, so I'm glad that it looks like a majority of votes are for that. Because, like, RightWingCope just seems like a better topic to cover, because I genuinely think that a lot of members of the left have an issue with ableism, and I think this is one of those situations where it is brought up. With that's not what I wanted. That's also not what I wanted. I need to get a new mouse because it keeps fucking misclicking. One second. I'll cut on some music while I browse this. Very quick. Yeah, I'll go ahead and end poll. So it looks like y'all want leftist ableism. Nice. It's 3 votes. 3 votes, but it's still a worthwhile poll. Now let me do another poll right quick. We have a dick's poll. Make a dick. Gotta make a dick. Okay, we have 1 ball. We have one ball. Can we get another ball? Potentially. Okay, we have another ball. Now we need 2 shafts. We need 2 shaft votes to make a Dick's poll. I'll even put on a shaft poll, one myself. We have 1 shaft. We have 1 shaft. That is 1 shaft vote, people. We have 1 shaft vote. Just have to open up stream on my phone so I can get us another shaft. That is another shaft vote, people. That's beautiful. Dick's poll. Woo! A successful Dick's poll, people. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see a successful Dick's poll. Motherfucker. Who made the dick lopsided? Whoever made the dick lopsided, I'm a little angry. One of the balls has fucking cancer. You gave him ball cancer in the balls. You gave the guy ball cancer. Thank you. It's a chode now, but it's better. It's better. What the fuck even is a frenulum? Wait, what is a frenulum? Oh, ew. Okay. Listen, I gave you the most basic formula for a dick, okay? And we're gonna end this poll. Is it a chode? Yes, it's a chode. It is definitely a chode. But we made it a dick. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Uh-huh. And then I will drink me some water. And we will start this next segment. Why is this a thing? Is the person who fixed it yeah, they're an oncologist, a cancer doctor. It adds character, it adds a tumor. Can't have a tumor. Okay. And that didn't start recording. Hey, howdy, and hello, everyone. A pillow here. Once again, feeling lovely, feeling happy. But we're going to be talking about a topic that doesn't make me all too happy. The left, I'm a member of the left, and I'm sure if you're watching my videos, you probably are, or at least you're more left-leaning. And I'm going to be 100% honest. Our side of the political spectrum has kind of an iffy issue with ableism. So coming at us today, we have a video from the Twitter account RightWingCope. This video is of an Andrew Tate fan, or at least a kid who was espousing himself to be an alpha male in class, arguing with the teacher. And RightWingCope has taken this video, as they usually do with a lot of right-wing stuff, and basically making it kind of a spectacle to laugh at. I took issue with this, and I'll show you the video. But I took issue with this because it felt a little ableist, and I'm going to explain why, but let's actually get into the video first. So, let's get into it. Let's watch it all together.
I've had enough of this. This punishment stuff is going to stop.
You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do or not do?
I am now the alpha.
That's not how this works. I am the teacher.
The alpha takes priority over the teacher. The alpha takes priority over everything. Do you not know how that works?
The teacher is telling the alpha to sit in his seat right now.
And the alpha doesn't have to listen to orders.
Yes, Bone Crusher, this is
Well, you
bizarre.
don't have
It's
to
a
listen,
bit-
but the consequences that follow are going to still apply to the alpha.
The alpha doesn't take punishment.
Let's see how well that works out for him, okay?
Getting out of hands these days.
Okay. So that's a nice little bit of ear bleeding at the very end there. But let's actually talk about what this says about us as a society. Okay. No, seriously. I personally responded to this. I did a little quote tweet. If I can find it. Where I said I cannot find it. 1 second. It'll be really quick to find because I can just click on my little profile and go down here, scroll down a little bit. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter, links in the description. But I said to this person likely has some sort of disability, was bullied for it, and was predated upon by content from people like Tate who target those who are socially ostracized. I find it extremely weird to continue this ostracization for Twitter likes instead of actually having a discussion about how these horrible content creators actually gain their audience. Predating on people, typically younger men and boys, who feel as social outcasts. Doing this haha laugh at this I can't speak. Doing this haha laugh at this wacky kid confirms these people's bias, and it's high-key ableist here. Do better. So, I'm gonna explain this, yeah? Because RightWingCope was basically denying that what they did here was ableist. They were denying the idea that the person in this video had a learning disability, and basically their entire point, if you see here, is they're saying having a speech impediment does not mean that you have an intellectual disability. Which, as you can see here in the initial tweet, this person just says, why is everyone making fun of a kid with some sort of disability? And then RightWingCope immediately pointed to like the kid's speech impediment. So, I'll put it like this. I had a speech impediment as a child. I had eroticism. And, that's when you can't really pronounce your R's well. And that does not mean that I had an intellectual disability. I am neurodivergent. I have ADHD. But, me having a speech impediment, although I would personally consider ADHD to be a form of learning disability, it's not necessarily a cognitive disability, but it does severely affect a lot of the things that can go into learning as a process. It's not technically classed as a learning disability, but it severely affected me as a child having a speech impediment. I was bullied for it, and I eventually forced myself out of it. As you can hear now, I don't have one, at least as much. Sometimes it flares up in certain words that I say, but overall, I can kind of speak. So, while it is true that having a speech impediment does not necessarily mean that you have an intellectual disability, as RightWingCope is using here to defend their ableism, which I will go into, there is a correlation between having a speech impediment and also having a form of intellectual disability and being neurodivergent. So, not everyone with a speech impediment is neurodivergent, but there is a correlation between the two, because being neurodivergent can significantly affect the way that you process language and learn certain words and phrases and the way that you position certain things in your mouth. There is a difference, not a difference, but there is a correlation between these two things. So again, not everyone with a speech impediment has a learning disability, but these things are typically comorbid. 9 times out of 10, if someone has a learning disability, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10. That's hyper specific. I don't have the data exactly up for that, but I have read before going into this. I couldn't find the article, unfortunately, that I read. But speech impediments do have a correlation with learning disabilities and being neurodivergent. Which brings me back to this. What Right Wing Cope is doing here, and someone said it earlier. Bone Crusher said it earlier. If you see right there where I'm pointing with my hand, Right Wing Cope is effectively Bizarre Libs of TikTok. They just find ways to make fun of right-wingers, which I'm fine with. But this is a situation where they're taking a kid who I'm assuming is neurodivergent just due to their actions. Most notably here, I would say I would probably pin this as a lack of social understanding, because this looks to be at least like an older middle schooler, high schooler maybe. Let me tell you, as a high school senior, I would kill myself before I ever considered doing this. Because when it comes to socially, how this might reflect on someone, most people would assume that, hey, this isn't going to reflect too well on me socially, so I'm not going to do it. That's not something that a lot of people who are neurodivergent, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but part of being neurodivergent for quite a couple of people is not necessarily being able to pick up on some certain social cues. And I think this situation of a kid walking up to a teacher and declaring themselves, unironically, declaring themselves the alpha of the classroom and that they aren't going to take punishment anymore, that is definitely missing some social cues there. And that, along with the speech impediment, which of course, like I said earlier, is not evidence of neurodivergence, but it can be, it can definitely be an indication that this kid could be neurodivergent, along with other things. I feel like Right Wing Cope pointing at this as a thing to laugh at is a form of ableism. Absolutely, I take this as a form of ableism. And Right Wing Cope's basically trying to dodge it by saying like, oh, yes, I can tell that this kid has a speech impediment. The speech impediment doesn't mean someone's autistic or intellectually disabled. And then saying like, oh, claiming someone's intellectually disabled based on a lisp is insanely ableist. Considering the general context of this entire situation, yeah, this does come off as insanely ableist. And the thing is, again, like I said in my tweet responding to this is not Right Wing Cope trying to point out how people like Andrew Tate will, not necessarily intentionally, but his content really seeps into the minds of people. And same thing with like these alpha male people. Their content seeps into the mind of people who feel like social outcasts and drives them to do certain things and adopt certain perspectives. This, instead of pointing out that this is a bad thing, and the fact that this is basically coming for a high school kid, who has been sucked into this philosophy, this person, I'm not going to say he, I don't know if, what are their pronouns? Let me get this person's pronouns before I fuck with them. They don't even have pronouns on their shit. So I'm just going to use they, them. Instead of doing this, what Right Wing Cope does is make fun of this kid, this young person, this high schooler or middle schooler. We don't know the exact age, but I'll say older middle school to like younger high schooler, because that's mostly who I see being into like Andrew Tate stuff. As a high schooler, it's mostly like sophomores and under that are into Andrew Tate. Yeah, this absolutely screams something that my edgy undiagnosed classmate would do, and my impulse to want to try to understand them is much stronger. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to laugh. When I see this video being talked about in the way that RightWingCope does here, I'm disgusted. What is wrong with you? Pointing at a younger person having, admittedly, not a good moment, but pointing at them and using them as something to laugh at? This kid who is, I'm not going to say kid, this young man, because I'm probably around the same age as this person. I just refer to everyone around my age as kid. But this person who's younger and is probably neurodivergent and pointing at them and laughing at them in order to get Twitter likes, that is disgusting. That is absolutely the same kind of thing that libs of TikTok would do. If this was a kid going up to their teacher and proclaiming that, like, hey, these are my pronouns, you will respect them, in the same exact way, yeah, which, of course, these are not analogous situations. Pronouns are not pseudoscience. The whole alpha male shit is. But if we were to flip the script a bit and make it this kind of situation, an analogous situation, not the same, but an analogous situation, libs of TikTok would post that and eat it up, making fun of this kid, of this young man. It is disgusting. The left-wingers and the left should not be engaging in this kind of rhetoric. If you want to point this out, point out how scary it is that someone this young is being sucked into these ideologies. Point out how disgusting it is that they're being treated as a laughingstock. Point out the fact that they were most likely a social outcast that was driven to believing these things due to being a social outcast and due to being targeted by content from people like Andrew Tate, from people in the manosphere who looks at people who are socially outcasted, which a lot of neurodivergent kids are socially outcast. But point to these content creators and point out how disgusting it is that these people predate on them. Don't make fun of them. Do better. Genuinely, do better. Just, it's disgusting. And I don't get why this is any form of, like, socially acceptable to do this at all. Because it shouldn't be. I thought we put, like, making fun of, like, high school kids in the past, but apparently not. Absolutely not. And it makes me angry to see this because we should be doing better. Flat out, we should be doing better. Regardless, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. If you loved it, tell me, comment below, and yeah. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. Okay. I got really into that one, but someone just came in from outside who lives with me, so gonna have to be a little silent now going forward. How did everyone feel about that one? And yeah, that kid probably was trying to stand up for himself. He was just given the wrong tools to do that. Which that honestly just kind of goes into a lot of the things that happen with like just this kind of radicalization. A lot of people who do get radicalized do not think, oh yeah, of course, I'm glad I got to cover it, because when I saw it, it made me mad. But a lot of the things that lead to people being radicalized. Yep. How are you? That's good. A lot of the things that lead to people being radicalized are generally just like, I don't know how to put it. How do I put it? Let me cut on the music. Yeah. These kinds of content. And when, like, you don't watch it and you're not into it, it seems alien and it seems weird and it seems foreign. But it's important to remember that a lot of the content creators, such as Andrew Tate, such as Aiden Ross, Snako, those in the manosphere, what a lot of them rely on is promoting themselves as a lifestyle and as a way to aspire to be and live as. But a lot of that is rooted in the idea that, like, you can make something for yourself, you can stand up for yourself, you don't need friends because you're the alpha, that kind of thing. And when you're a socially outcast kid, that can be really enticing to you. Because if no one wants to interact with you, it's not because, like, oh, I'm neurodivergent and they're discriminating against me because of that, or I don't really necessarily pick up on social cues, which makes it hard for me to make friends. It becomes, no, I'm the alpha male, I'm powerful, and I don't need anyone else, and no one else is going to tell me what to do in my life. And I find it disgusting to make fun of people who have fallen into these pipelines, young people who have fallen into these pipelines, and then try to, like, dodge it by saying, oh no. It's like, oh no, I'm not being ableist here. Like, yes you are. Yes you are. Regardless though, I guess all I have left to cover is AOC and the what do you have? The burner account. Jesus, whenever people get home, I just lose my my train of thought. But yeah. You make a fair point. Thank you. I had a teacher I had a situation like that with, yeah. But yeah, no. So, like, personally, I unfollowed RightWingCope because of it. Because my thing is, too, like, I get it if they accidentally did an ableism, didn't realize it, and then were, like, repentive about it, but they weren't. They just flat out went, like, oh no, you're actually ableist for pointing out how I'm being ableist. So, like, no. I genuinely think that if you do not have a commitment to, like, atoning, atone is a weird word, but, like, recognizing when you've been ableist and, like, doing something about it, I think if you genuinely do not want to do that, then I don't want to associate with you. I barely consider you a leftist at that point, because you shouldn't be ableist, flat out. It's not a hard thing to not do, just don't be ableist. And if you have accidentally done an ableism, because it happens, our society is very ableist and it's easy to do ableist things in our society, just due to the way it's structured. But if you have accidentally done an ableism and you get called out on it, apologize. And do better. Everyone makes mistakes, but the difference between a mistake and an issue is not wanting to apologize for it. Because at that point, it isn't a mistake. They didn't mistakenly do an ableism. They did an ableism, and then when called out on it, they doubled down. Yeah, ableism is so normalized Unfortunately, ableism is so normalized to the point where it is shockingly easy to do or say something ableist, which isn't good. It's not a good thing, and we should work against that as a society. But if you want to work against that as a society, you need to be able to recognize when you yourself have been ableist. I've been ableist in the past. I've been ableist in the past. And you know what? I've apologized for it, I've learned, and I've moved on from it. Whenever you make a mistake, you should be able to move on from it. What RightWingCope did was not a mistake. They were being malicious about it. At that point, it wasn't a mistake. What if the accusation is badly reasoned? I do not know what you mean by that. But yeah, don't be ableist and do better. But yeah, ableism exists even within the disabled community because it's easy to overlook something. Yeah, exactly. It is extremely easy to do very, very, very ableist things, unfortunately. Like again, I have ADHD, I'm neurodivergent, but I've accidentally done some ableist things. No one is above it. The thing that makes it bad is when you do not correct yourself for it when called out on it. That's the thing that makes it bad. As in woke scold shit, I think careful. Oh yeah. If I'm being honest, I personally avoid saying that word. I don't even like saying that word myself. Because it feels weird to me. It feels weird and it feels ableist to me. A lot of people have it normalized in their vernacular, and if I'm being honest, the amount of shit I might get for calling out people for doing that, I am too small to justify being able to do that because I'm really not going to be able to affect change on the online left by calling it out. But let me get big enough. Because I will start calling out people for saying the word. It is not hard to not say that word, flat out. It's not hard to not say that word, and it is not hard to not be ableist. Me, when I was making fun of the smarmy voice edging into that territory, yeah. Also, someone asked me how I sounded earlier, when I had my speech impediment. I don't know. The thing about having a speech impediment is that, like, you don't realize that it's an issue until someone points it out to you. So I couldn't, like, I couldn't put on the speech impediment because the way I'm talking now is not like some act. I'm not, like, acting like this and talk with a speech impediment outside of streaming. Like, I just do not talk with a speech impediment anymore. So I couldn't put it back on if I wanted to. And even if I did, I would feel weird doing it. Because, like, that's just not how I speak anymore. But, like, if you want to get something close to it, then, if you've ever watched The Owl House, the way that, Tiny Nose talks, that's basically how I used to talk. It was Roticism. RHOTACISM, I think it's spelled. But yeah. Oh, yeah, Doritos. I mean, I kind of do that too. I don't say Doritos, I say Doritos. Doritos. And I still kind of have one too. Like the way I say Earth, I don't say Earth. Earth. I say Earth. Because, like, if it's functional, it's functional. Then, like, occasionally I'll have someone say, like, oh, you said Earth, and then it's like, yeah, do you know what I said? Like, if you understand what I said, like, why do you care? Because, like, I pushed myself out of my speech impediment before going into high school, because, like, I knew I was gonna get messed with because of it. But at a certain point, I just stopped caring and just went, like, leave me alone, you know? Is that like a stutter? A stutter can be a speech impediment, yeah. But that honestly comes down to, like, when it becomes really excessive. I think most people stutter before they say something. It's not uncommon for someone to go like, oh, you know about that, right? Like, it's like if you're talking about something, you know, someone will be like, hey, have you heard about this? Like, that's not an uncommon thing for people to do whenever they speak, but like when the stuttering gets in the way of you speaking, then it can be a speech impediment. So Biden has a stutter, as a matter of fact, and it's actually really interesting the way that people do get around speech impediments. So one of the ways that I used to get around my speech impediment before I forced myself out of it is that I would just avoid words with R's in them, which was really difficult, but it kind of strengthened my vocabulary a little bit. And one of the ways that some people with stutters get around speech impediments, get around their stutter, where it's like they will literally lock up when trying to figure out the word or trying to like get their mouth to say it, is that they will transition to a different word that kind of means the same thing. The way you focused in on the example I gave early missed the point. Alright. I'm sorry, I have a bad memory. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So like a pretty notable clip that people will like point to try to say that Biden has like dementia is when he was talking about Obama. This was like years ago. He was talking about Obama and he was saying Obama, and like he was trying to say like the president, but he couldn't say like presidents. It was just like Obama, you know him, he's, and then like he got hung up on saying like president or like something along those lines. So instead of saying president, he said my boss, like my boss, which isn't untrue. In relation to Biden, at the time Biden was a vice president or a former vice president. I'm forgetting the exact timeline of that clip. But like Obama had been or was currently technically Biden's boss. Yeah. Aren't there studies that shown that it's a sign of intelligence, like using filler words? Yeah. I don't know if there have been studies, but certainly like using filler words, I wouldn't be shocked if it extended someone's vocabulary a lot, because that takes a lot to be able to switch. Because keep in mind, language is like basically automatic. The way that you speak, like you generally have an idea what you want to say before you say it, but you don't have the exact words in your head. So making your brain have to find filler words in the middle of a sentence could maybe like increase your brain power. I don't know for sure. I'd have to read up on that. What I was trying to say is basically, what if the reason they give from how you're being ableist or atheist is that, for that matter, makes no sense, or there's a problem with the logic or a fallacy, EXT. I mean, you can just punch through that when it comes down to it. If someone says like, oh, the reason why you're being ableist wait, what? What if the reason they give from how you're being ableist or anyist for that matter, makes no sense, or there's a problem with the logic, or, okay, if they say that, like, your logic makes no sense, it depends on how. Because if you just say, like, hey, you're being ableist and this is why, and they say, oh, your logic makes no sense, then, like, I would prompt them to say, like, how does it not make any sense? If they don't give specificities. And then, like, further that point, if they do give specificities, then just, like, argue through the specificities. There are many ways where people will try to say, like, oh, I'm not being this, because, like, it's not good to have that label associated with you. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to put your foot down and say, this is what you're doing, this is why it's wrong, don't do this, etc. But I will find... Yeah, here it was. A lot of people tried to point to this clip as, like, an example of Biden being, like, demented and, like, not understanding language. But, like, this was just a clip of him finding a lone word when he couldn't, like, get Obama's name out.
Because they invaded another country and annexed a significant portion of it called Crimea. He's saying that it was my boss, it was his fault.
Wait, no, not Philip DeFranco. But yeah, no, like, people were saying, like, oh, that's an example of Biden being, like, demented or having cognitive deficiencies, and it's like, no. Because he knew what he was talking about. He didn't get, like, he got hung up on the name. But keep in mind, this is a name that Biden has said, like, thousands of times. Like, he worked with Obama very closely for 8 years. And they were pretty good friends in the Senate before that, and I'm pretty sure they were pretty good friends after that, and they still keep in touch. Biden has said Obama's name thousands of times. And we've all been in this situation before. Everyone has had a situation where they'll, like, forget someone's name, and then they'll, like, transition over to something related. And he knew exactly what he was talking about. He said president, and then he probably got, like, a little hung up on his words for a second, because the timestamp on that was from 3 years ago. So, also, he was, like, in a talk about something, so this was probably around or just after election time. So he might have had a different president on the mind, like, say, Trump, who he had just faced off against, or was about to, and might have been talking about previously. And when he got hung up on that, instead of accidentally saying President Trump, and instead of getting out Obama, he said, my boss, which was a true statement. He just got hung up on a word, and then transitioned to something that was related and meant the same thing. That's language. It works. I also read studies that motioning with your hands shows a lot that you're emotionally intelligent. That would be funny. I talk a lot with my hands, so. But yeah, so. Oh well. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah. Okay. So I am most likely going to stream tomorrow, which means we have a couple of things that we can decide on doing. So, it's up to y'all what I do. I can either go ahead and stream and chill out, or I can cover AOC. If you're getting the word aunt when introducing to someone, yeah, that happens. I've done the dad sister thing before. Oh, this is my mom's sister. Like, you do that sometimes. Does this mean the French are really emotionally intelligent? You can't be emotionally intelligent if you aren't a human. So no, the French are not emotionally intelligent, they're subhuman. Keep that in mind, always. They're below us. I'm just kidding. J'aime bien les Français. Les peuples de France. He's a phantom. Yo, Danny Phantom, he was just 14 where his parents built a very strange machine designed to view a world unseen. Okay, so it looks like we get like overwhelming cover AOC, so I'm gonna do that and end stream. Which might be the first time in a while that I've actually like done a stream and covered everything that I was gonna say I was gonna cover in the stream. The other thing is, I just need to figure out how to start with that one. Because 9 times out of 10, I cover something, I cover it like off the cuff, so I need to figure out like a way to start that. Has AOC even herself responded to like the burner account allegations? I need to find that out. Why is Benito trending? Are people comparing Trump to Mussolini? Oh. It's some music artist. Oh, it's Bad Bunny? Is that who he is? Bad Bunny? I've heard about a bit about Bad Bunny. I've never gotten into his music. But yeah. Okay. I just need to pull up the things for this so that we can go and start covering it. Okay. So I pretty much have what I need to start the next segment. I will start in like 2 minutes. nail clipper. Damn. Sorry about that. It was very loud. That was insanely loud. Alright, y'all. Just give me a second. Damn, this is taking a while. Okay, again. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Fidget toy of the champions? Yes. Almost done. Almost done. I saw a tweet and I'm trying to find it again. But I don't know if it'll work, knowing Twitter. Knowing Twitter's track record with shit like that. When it like auto does your tweet. Auto refreshes your feed. Which is always annoying. Yeah, I know. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, no. No. No, I'm almost done. Yeah, no. Okay. Now let me just send news to my personal friend group about Trump's arraignment, and then we'll be on to the races for this next lovely segment. Elon's hell site, yeah. Let me see if I can't find more Trump photos. Ah, fuck, no. Twitter's demonic. Suck me in, I have shit to do. Okay. Hey, howdy, and hello, everyone. A pillow here. Do you use Twitter? I bet you do. And if you use Twitter, in any public setting, chances are you probably have a separate, non-public Twitter account. I have an official Twitter account, which you can follow me, links down below. I'm super close to 1,000 followers, so please do follow me there. But you will have a public Twitter account where you interact with the public, and you'll have a private Twitter account, one that I also have. On my private Twitter account, I simply just like art, movie stuff, comic book related stuff, all of that. It's just for my private Twitter account. because my public one is full with politics shit. And I don't like politics shit whenever I'm trying to relax and like some shit from people like Kiana Mai, who's one of my favorite artists. Now, I think we also all like a nice, fun politician known as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's very nice, very cool, and recently a bunch of people have misconstrued some random account that replied to her and got quote tweeted as being her burner account. So, here's the story. Zaza Smoka, which is a Twitter account, retweets Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Then a troll replies to the retweet with Zaza Smoka still tagged. Zaza Smoka, again, this is not AOC's account, seeing a reply directed at them because they were still tagged, then replies back, and then figures out what had happened and deletes the tweet because they realized that they were not being directly replied to. Then the troll says that it's AOC's burner account. And then chaos ensues. So, here we have the offending tweets. As you can see, Zaza Smoka is tagged. And then the person replies in the first person because they thought they were being replied to, and then they deleted it because they realized it wasn't them. And then we have this idiot, Nico House, this is Nico House apparently, saying that this is AOC's burner account. And then you just have idiots proclaiming this to be AOC. And then here's what AOC says, because this person, Zaza Smoka, said to Matt Walsh that Matt Walsh can't be a bigot if they're no longer breathing, which critical support. Okay, I'll leave it at that, critical support. But following this, AOC responded and said, no, it's not. I don't do burners, and I would never address someone in this fashion as someone the subject of a torrent of violent defamatory rhetoric and stalking, and in real life death threats to accompany it. I'll never condone it either. So AOC herself says she does not do burner accounts. You have an entire cohort of idiots, an entire gaggle of dumbasses, proclaiming that AOC has a burner account when she doesn't. And I wanna talk about this a bit. Ow. Okay, so first of all, this Zaza Smoka person, unfathomably based. I'm just gonna put it like this: unfathomably based. Okay. Secondly, the reason why so many people have latched onto this, and even after AOC has said no, this is not me. Obviously, I would not have a burner account called Zaza Smoka. I don't do burner accounts. So many people do not take over her word, and I'm going to tell you why. The people pointing to this as being AOC's burner account are detached from reality. This is something that we see consistently. And this is something that really, really annoys me whenever people try to reason with modern, major Republican talking heads. I'm not talking about regular, run-of-the-mill voters. I mean the talking heads, the propagandists, the Tucker Carlsons, the Matt Walshes going into their replies and boosting their analytics and their numbers, saying, no, you're wrong, here's why you're wrong. They know they're wrong. They don't care. They know they're wrong. They don't care. They keep this in your head. Anytime some right-wing propagandist says some transphobic shit, you going into their replies and saying, hey, you're wrong, let me tell you, the people directly following that person doesn't care that they're wrong. They think we're wrong. They think we are wrong and that we're lying and that we're out to get children for some reason. And they don't care what we have to say. That propagandist does not care what we have to say. You're just boosting their numbers, pointing this out, which isn't to say don't interact with these people. If you can find a way to call them out on their lies and their BS, do it, please. But just going into their replies and saying, Mr. Walsh, you do know you're wrong, you're not doing anything. They're not acting in good faith. These people do not care that they're wrong. They don't think that they're wrong. But if they did know they were wrong, they wouldn't care. Because to them, it isn't about being honest. It's about hating people. It is about hating people and wanting the worst to come to them. And they will do whatever it takes to get that to happen. Lying is absolutely not off the table. Do you really think that you can argue with the people who want a genocide? No. No. There's nothing you can do to convince these people of your perspective. They're propagandists. They are the people deepest in the sauce. Deepest in... Talk about lost in the sauce. They are the sauce. These people aren't just lost in the sauce. They are the ragu. They are the ragu. Stop arguing with ragu. Pasta sauce. This is what these people are. These propagandists do not care about the truth. They care about being powerful. They care about screwing over the people that they don't like. And you aren't doing anything by arguing with these people. To take it back to AOC's alleged burner account. They don't care that AOC doesn't have a burner account. They don't care that this literally sparked just from someone quote retweeting someone and then that person replying and realizing, oh, this wasn't directed at me, it was directed at AOC. They don't care that that's the situation that happened. The moment they saw that you might be able to pin it on AOC, they saw blood and then they ran with it. Because they don't care about the truth. Stop believing these people. Stop acting like they're arguing in good faith. Because they aren't. Our modern politics is not a place where good faith arguments typically happen. You know what's a good faith argument? A discussion between whether or not we should move for more bike pathways on our streets or bus lanes. That can be a good faith discussion. There is no good faith discussion had over whether or not someone that they hate, that they vilify, that they would kill if they wanted to, and if they had the chance to. There's no arguing with these people over whether or not that person has a burner account because they don't care either way. Anything to make that person look bad, they will do. Even if they fabricated it, they would do it in a heartbeat because they don't care about truth. The same thing when it comes to them arguing in favor of genocide. You saying, oh, well, actually, providing trans healthcare makes it safe for people. It significantly decreases the likelihood of people committing suicide. These propagandists do not care. The people that directly follow these propagandists do not care. They think you're wrong. They think that the scientific community has been infiltrated by the globalist elite to destroy our foundations in science, and you can't believe them. They don't care. Please, you are wasting your time trying to argue with these propagandists as a smaller person in this space. If it was someone bigger, someone more notable, then they might have a chance. But you know what they do to people more notable? Like a Vosh figure? You know what they do to figures like Vosh? They ignore them. They sidestep them because they know they're a threat. Someone like me, they wouldn't care. Someone smaller watching, they wouldn't care. Do better, be smarter, please. Stop arguing with these people. With that being said, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, follow me on Twitter, links in the description, as well as joining the Discord, link in the description as well. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Anyways, that was a quick end. That was a very quick end. But yeah, so. How did we feel about that one, people? Yep. Yeah, I did have to make it snappy. Someone just got home. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I'm just gonna end stream now. Thank you all for joining and watching. I love you all. I'll probably stream tomorrow. Peace. 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 Good thing we got the segments done. Sorry to end so quickly, but you know, have to. Don't want to get walked in on streaming. But yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, I will definitely stream Friday. I love you all. We're almost at 2 hours. So I'm gonna like keep this going until we hit 2 hours, and then I'll end. Like we're almost at 2 hours exact. So yeah. Bye.